Today, I'll be talking about the TQ cult for a change, and if you're new to the channel, what I mean there are the more militant members of the trans, queer and non-binary communities. Of course, the vast majority of the people in those communities, like every community, are just trying to live their lives. But some of these people, in particular some trans women, are very militant, demanding we ignore reality lest we hurt their feelings. The people who say that trans women are exactly the same as biological women, although we know it's factually and biologically incorrect. But it feels like there's a change coming from the general public, the silent majority. And I'd say I'm a member of the silent majority, but I'm talking about it, so that doesn't make any sense. It's like there's the start of a proper pushback because we've tried being nice. But it transpires nothing will ever be enough. So now we're saying no, enough is enough. We're all getting a bit sick of it. For example, we all know that if someone is born male and goes through male puberty, they will be, on average, much stronger than the average female, which is why men should not compete in women's sports. We all know that. And the only people who deny it are the disciples of gender ideology. But the thing is, we all know that they know. But the minute they admit to it, their whole house of cards will come crashing down. Yesterday, I saw a photo doing the rounds on X, which when I went to download today, it's been pulled, so I'll try and describe it. It's of a high school girls' sports team, where one of the members of that team is a transgender woman. A teenage boy dressed as a teenage girl. And he's got his hand on the shoulder of one of the young women. And you can see she's physically uncomfortable with it. Because if you're male, regardless of what you identify as, if you touch a woman without her permission, in particular, putting your hand onto her skin, that is very, very rapey. So instead, here's another photo that's been doing the rounds. It's a football team, or soccer, if you're from the New World or the former penal colony. And one of the members is a transgender woman on a woman's team. Let's see if you can spot her. If you need a clue, look for the member who's a foot taller and 80 pounds heavier than the rest of the squad. Yes, it's the goalkeeper. This video has been going viral on X over the weekend. It doesn't have any sound, so I'll have it playing next to me. And it's of 13 and 14-year-old girls refusing to compete in the shot put. They walk up with the shot put on their shoulders, then just walk away. They don't throw it. And the reason for this is there's a trans-identifying male competing against them. So they're making a stand saying, if it isn't fair, then why should we compete? And good for them. Because when a male enters a female sport, the women or girls are then competing for second place. Or as we see here, when there are two transgender athletes in women's sport, the women are competing for third. It's not fucking fair. For example, I haven't done karate since I was a teenager, but I could easily win a karate tournament and win every fight by knockout with one punch, provided that tournament was for children 10 years old and younger. And if people notice that I'm clearly a middle-aged man, I could say, but I identify as an 8-year-old boy. Now, to me, that's less ridiculous than a man identifying as a woman to compete in women's sports, because at least I have been an 8-year-old boy, albeit a bloody long time ago. We also know that many women and girls are getting sick of men invading their spaces. In this clip, we don't see the woman who's talking, but because where she's filmed it, I'm guessing she's in her late teens or early 20s.
Excuse me, what are you doing in the women's bathroom?
I'm sorry?
What are you doing in the women's bathroom?
I'm peeing.
Okay, but you're a man. Yes, you are. You're clearly a man, and you were just in the women's bathroom. Do you know how much money I paid for this school, and now there's a man in my bathroom?
Well, you should talk to the administration.
Oh, I definitely will.
Good.
But I do feel the need to go into women's spaces as a man. No comment on that? Do you think women don't deserve their own private spaces? Nothing? Really? Do you support women's rights? No? Okay, so there's just a man in our bathroom. That's wonderful. So that the University of Tampa allows this. We also have drag queens as well.
I don't think that gentleman is confused about his gender. In my opinion, he's a fetishist. He enjoys wearing women's clothing and enjoys going to female-only spaces. He may even get a kick from making women feel uncomfortable. But when he's confronted, I was going to say he hasn't got the balls. That's clearly not the case. That's the problem. When he's confronted, he just walks away. And this is something very typical of the TQ cult. When they're caught doing something they shouldn't, either they pretend nothing has happened, or they start screaming transphobia. So now we've set the scene. We've seen that women and girls are tired of men competing in female sports and men dressed as women going into places that they shouldn't. And again, if you're watching this and you're trans and you're just trying to live your life, I wish you the very best. But now I'm going to weigh in with my opinions, because we're about to see a member of the TQ cult telling us who we're allowed to, or rather compelled to find attractive.
All right, I will assume that you asked this question in the way that you really want to learn. So I will explain all the ways that it is okay. Let's say that you're attracted to women. Well, if you're attracted to women, then you're attracted to cis women, trans women without bottom surgery, and trans women with bottom surgery. If you're attracted to VJ, then you could be attracted to a cis woman, a trans man without bottom surgery, a trans woman with bottom surgery, or a non-binary person, which, depending on their assigned gender at birth, having or not having had the surgery. But it is that exclusion that makes it transphobic. So, if you say that you like women and you like VJ, then that would mean that you're attracted to cis women and trans women who have had bottom surgery. It is just that exclusion that makes it transphobic. You can have a genital preference, but to exclude trans people is transphobic.
So, using what I will laughingly refer to as that logic, as a straight man, I am apparently attracted to not only actual women, but also trans women. No. First up, as a straight man, I don't find all women attractive. And I know sure as hell not all straight women want to jump into bed with me. Mrs. Disgruntled finds me attractive, but she's very, very odd. Also, our friend describes having a genital preference, something he calls VJs. The word vagina does not have a J in it. I doubt our new friend knows that. Now, I've not had sex with a trans woman, so I don't know what that's like, and I'm happy to go to my grave in ignorance. Yet I'll be willing to bet there is a world of difference between an actual woman's fun tunnel and the body of a man who's had his bollocks cut off, his penis turned inside out and shoved into his body to form an open wound that's attached to his colon, because that doesn't get me standing to attention, as it were. And the TQ cult like to say that if we don't want to date them, we must be transphobic. I'm going to flip that round. I'll say if you're insisting that people want to date you, even though it doesn't align with their sexuality, that is homophobic, biphobic, and I don't know if this word exists, heterophobic. However, let's give our new friend with the extremely enthusiastic makeup the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume that what he, she, it is saying is true. If that's the case, the woman we're about to see will be attractive to all straight men, homosexual women, and all bisexual people, rather than just disturbing. The really creepy thing is that the original video is over 2 minutes long, and that's all he does. Moves around on the sofa, looks at the camera with those dead eyes, and goes like a doll that's been brought to life, or a shop mannequin experiencing demonic possession. I cannot imagine introducing that person to my friends and family, going, "This is my new girlfriend. A couple of points, First of all, she doesn't know how to smile, and secondly, her cock's bigger than mine. Yet, there is disagreement within the cult. What if genital preferences, which usually will be heterosexual people like their partners to have the opposite genitals, homosexuals the same, and if you're bisexual, I guess every day's a party. What if having a genital preference is actually transphobia?
Yes, genital preferences are always transphobic. You're welcome. No, but seriously, deciding that you don't want to be intimate with someone because of the genitals they have is transphobic, particularly like if you think about, in this case, this means that this person is not open to dating trans women, which invalidates their womanhood. Not only that, it makes assumptions about the way that trans people are going to want to use those genitals. The idea that trans people use the body parts that they have in the same way that cis people with those same body parts do is transphobic. Say it with me. Genital preferences are always transphobic.
I think we can all agree that the individual we just saw would be a particularly challenging wank. I am intrigued, however, how trans people use their genitals differently. So if you have a man in a dress, what does he do? Get his pork sword out and start playing the drums with it? Or can you work his arm up and down like that and use his dick to jack up a car? For me, the deal breaker in any sexual encounter would be if the other person also had a penis. That's not me being homophobic or, God forbid, transphobic. It's just that's the way I'm wired. But apparently, refusing to fuck a trans person is now a form of transphobia. So let me spin this. In the UK, the age of consent is 16. So if I approach a 16-year-old girl and say, if you don't have sex with me, you're being age-phobic, you're being ageist. Is she in the wrong, or am I being a creepy old bastard? There's one clip left to go, and sometimes you can't tell that someone is transgender. Some of the Asians are amazing, but of course they just call themselves ladyboys. They don't run around screaming, saying, I'm a real woman, use my pronouns. So sometimes you can't tell. This is not one of those times.
And this is my voice after just 5 voice lessons. So I wanted to read off a passage for you guys to just do a little bit of training. The stupid zebra and dumb tiger are brought before Judge Cherry, the kangaroo. The good judge is busy eating his favorite peanut butter sandwich. He really loves his sandwiches. He also really loves his favorite zealously zhuzh shirt, sleeves, and funky vest. The stupid zebra and dumb tiger pause when they see the shirt sleeves and cry aloud, "That's thin." Judge Cherry tells them to shush and take themselves back outside. What did you all think?
Yes, that was aviary. Although I thought an aviary was a structure to house birds. And this may be a shock, I've had no vocal training, but I can make my voice go high as well. That vocal coach must be laughing all the way to the bank. And we know Avery hasn't had bottom surgery because he can't stop playing with his crotch. So, mate, you've got a squeaky voice and you keep grabbing your dick. Who do you think you are? Michael fucking Jackson? At least when Jacko was grabbing his own penis, he wasn't grabbing the penis. Actually, let's not go there. That's the end of this video. So we've seen very brave young women standing up to cheating transgender athletes. We've seen women defending their own spaces. And I think I've proved that someone not wanting to have sex with you isn't evidence of a phobia. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as ever, thanks for watching. I'm going to talk about what I refer fucking bollocks to. First line in. Well done. If you're born male and go through male puberty, you'll have male puberty. Generally speaking, you'll have a fucking, what am I saying? Sort it out, Danny prick. So let's give our friend that fucking makeup he's wearing. It's like he's appearing on TV in the 1920s. So, our friend who's had his makeup done by Stevie Wonder in an earthquake. Seagulls are joining in. Fuck off to the coast. Incredibly fucking old bollocks to it.